教えて、リンドーちゃん。はい、リンドです。
Hot! Can you hear the electric fan sound? Or the noise it's making? There's no suppression working, that matter. So I was watching the latest episode of Remake Our Life. Fantastic anime, by the way. I made a review about it a couple of months ago when the first episode aired. It just clicked right to my heart. Very relatable. I'll drop the link in the description below. And when I watched the end credit to find out what the next episode was, it was listed, or I found out that the next episode is gonna be a 0.5 episode, or a recap episode, if you know another term for it. And I have mixed feelings about that, and I feel like I should also talk about this to you right now, right? What the essence, or what is a 0.5 episode or recap episode, why it exists, and is it really a good thing or a bad thing from different sides of the story. So a recap episode is essentially very easy to know what it is. So it's basically an episode or an aired episode along the line of a anime series that is ongoing, probably around somewhere that is already after the climax, or that is placed somewhere that is approaching the following action, for that matter, right? And it is an episode to recap the past events of what happened from start to finish. It depends really on what type of arc that the recap episode wants to recap, hence why it is called a recap episode. It wants to recap the events, the stories, or the events that transition leading up to this moment. And it's really important, I suppose, right? A recap episode is important, I suppose, or it is a episode used to let us, the anime watchers, know to refresh our minds as to what would happen, or what we can make use of towards the following episode, or the episode that follows after that, which probably is a episode that is so important, or a lot of answers would be answered, or a lot of future events would occur in order for us to progress with the story, and we need to learn what happened back then to refresh our minds about certain clues and plot points. That foreshadowing there, we refresh ourselves with foreshadowing of the past events to know what we can expect from the answers given from this for the following episode. Expanded it a bit too far there, but simply put, recap episodes, they recap past event of the episodes. Is it good? Is it bad? Both sides, really both, I suppose. Okay, if you look at it from the perspective of a anime watcher, anime fan, a recap episode essentially means to us, right, in my opinion, right, for the anime watcher, oh boy, are we taking a break, or is it really something that really need? Because if, for instance, if there is a series, a hype series for that matter, a series in which the audience is really looking forward to and is really getting the hype on, why would you stop with a recap episode? Just continue on with the story, because we're so excited to see Remake Our Life, for instance. That show is incredible. I'm so excited to see what happens next. Really am, especially to the whole to the guy. I can't say now because it's a bit of a spoiler, but it's really important for me to know what happens next. But with the appearance of a recap episode, it's just like, why? I mean, 6 episodes in, and we're already at a recap episode. And if for that I did the same thing, 5 episodes in, there's a recap episode, and it's just really frustrating. Why do they need to have this sort of progression towards an anime that even I know Arifret was directed badly, I suppose. A lot of opinions here and there about the Arifret as progress. A lot of animes as well. The way that they include, or productions rather, would air a recap episode. Is it because they wanted to stall in a way to make way for the animators, or do they also want, right? A recap episode also has the ability to give us certain scenes that were in, they wanted to add, I suppose, in order to get us even more hyped. Something like they wanted to add a bit of a teaser, right? But what's the point of a teaser if it's just gonna appear within the next episode? So a recap episode is essentially a pre-trailer teaser, I guess, of what's about to come. But yeah, I also understand, right? I also understand that this is a sort of strategy, I guess. I've watched Shirobako, and I've got to learn the whole way anime productions do their thing. And I was also astonished by it as well. I really fell in love with their dedication and their hard work, and really their whole mechanism and the whole way that they produce an anime. It's just beautiful. It's amazing. I've also watched a lot of YouTube videos as to how anime is being produced. Hardworking people. They are very amazing, very talented at what they do, and I really love them for that. It's beautiful. Art being made this way, people coming together to create something. It's beautiful. But I also wanted to point out what an episode from Shirobako, what they did, right? So essentially, in Shirobako, when they aired an anime, right, they're approaching already the last episode or the final episode, and they had a problem with a lot of the producers. The script's not finished, if I remember correctly. The animation panels, it's not done yet. The voice acting as well, and because of that, things fell behind schedule. And for that reason, they had no choice but to resort to a recap episode. And a recap episode is, I don't know, I think it's easier done than a normal episode, because what it does is they just take clips from the past episodes and put in a narration set or done by the cast or one of the voice actors, which is, easy peasy, couple of 20 minutes of explanation here and there, simply done. Even a lot of shonen animes, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, even Fire Force, yeah. At the start of every episode, there's always a recap. I don't know why. A recap of the whole situation. That's really stalling the whole story. Is that a thing? I mean, is it bad or is it good? I don't know. Personally speaking, I find it to be such a filler, right? But recap episodes in general, or 0.5 episodes for that matter, and actually, at least that one episode lines up all or condenses the whole, for instance, 1 to 5 episodes, or the entire story before the climax or before the resolution part. It condenses it into one episode, adding a bit of narrations and important scenes, the foreshadowing scenes, which are important in order for us to finally piece out together the puzzle of a story. Now, when I said foreshadowing that pieces out the puzzle of the story, I meant that I know that is a really important aspect or important reason why 0.5 episodes exists, right? Because maybe that we missed something, maybe we missed important clues or important dialogues within the story in order for us to really understand what's about to come next. It's hot. I got a bit sidetracked back there, but going back to Shirobako's example, right? The anime production team had a bit of a struggle. They fell behind schedule, and for that reason, they create this 0.5 episode or a recap episode. And they also even commented I've also heard a comment within the dialogues of Shirobako in that certain scenario, wherein the head director said that when they release a recap episode, the fans are not gonna have a really positive response about it, because the fans are already really at the edge of their seats anticipating the final episode, and for them to just throw in a recap, that's gonna take a huge hit, I suppose, to the anticipation, the popularity of the anime that they're making, their anime production, I suppose. But yeah, there's also good to it, as I said before. Anime recap episodes are essential if we wanted to, refresh our minds, to go back to certain dialogues and clues of the story in order for us to clearly understand the bigger picture as to what's to come next. But there are also some cases wherein a recap episode is just to simply recap everything that has happened before. And I feel like that part of a recap episode is essentially a waste. Or no, waste of time. I don't know. It's stalling, I guess, or it's trying to delay for what's about to come. But there's also another point that I want to talk about, and it's the anticipation, right? I don't know if they would they would plan a recap episode intentionally or unexpectedly. But if it was planned intentionally, then there you go. They planned in a 0.5 episode intentionally for the reason of they wanted to let the audience look back as to look back at the whole situation, find out clues, the dialogues, and the foreshadowing of what's about to come to happen. And yeah, personally, if even I took a look back at the first episode to really understand who these characters are and who they are in the future, how important they are, I completely understand that. But the way I wanted a recap episode to be is not only purely purely composed of just recaps, but I also wanted to have another point of perspective from a different character. Some recap episodes do that as well. Wonder and Priority, the special episode, took a big downside into its reputation, I suppose. It was a huge disappointment because half of it was just a recap, and the other half was I don't know what it was. But yeah, to that side, a recap episode, I find it to be, okay, I guess. I understand completely that these productions are also struggling, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. We have to understand the situation of people, right? As an anime watcher, I am so grateful for all these amazing companies, for all these amazing production teams and studios to create such a masterpiece, to adapt such a masterpiece. Well done, beautifully made, and for that reason, it's props to them, right? But yeah, recap episode, it can be good, it can be bad, it depends. And in the case for a remake of Life, I suppose if they add a good aspect to the recap episode, then I suppose it is worth a watch. Yet again, remake of Life, remake our Life, if it does a recap episode beautifully done, that includes a lot of clips in order for us to refresh our minds, to have a bit of a teaser, and especially to have another perspective to the side of the story, especially to another character, then it is okay. It is good in a way, I suppose. But yeah, this whole problem, or this whole dilemma, this whole argument really goes back to the answer. I just want my hype on going, right? But if that's the way that the production wants to take it, then so be it. It's no problem at all. In fact, okay, I suppose we need a breather here and there once in a while to let our minds really to allow our minds to absorb all the events, the story of the events. Although since anime airs weekly, we have as much time to really get a hold of the whole situation, the whole story in the first place. Yeah, but nevertheless, recap episodes, it's a hit or miss. Recap episodes, they're there for a reason, and if it's good, whether it's good or it's bad, just let it be for what it is.